Hey, this is Matt once again. What about 10 of the videos? Another paid request this time for Jonathan. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics, reactions, video game stuff, whatever the case may be, reviews, feel free to send it. PayPal's usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Or box if I learn how to talk. This is Stream Season 3, Episode 2. Which, right, I don't know why he didn't want me to review Episode 1, but that's fine. Now, for what I understand with this TV show, number one, I'm sitting there going, why is there a TV show of Stream? We've already had enough movies, and you don't need that many movies, let alone 3 seasons of a TV show. But for what I understand, the first 2 seasons were linked together. Ghostface was like a completely different mask, like a really ugly looking mask. Was like someone's glorified cum stain of a mask. And I guess because it got bad reviews or something, when season 3 came about, they completely rebooted it. I think at times this is called Stream Resurrection. So they rebooted where it's a completely different cast, completely different story, no nothing to link the first 2 seasons. So I guess you could watch the third season without watching the first two. Although then people, and also Ghostface looks like Ghostface from the Scream films. I think Queen Latifah had a hand in producing this season. It being very into the black community. And funny enough, I think this was looked at as the worst season. I guess after this they kind of canceled it all. Scream at best was a 3 movie deal. I like Scream 3. It ended it fine. No more. Not 4, not 5, not 6, not this upcoming 7, not 3 seasons of a show. You take something that was kind of unique and you redo it so many times it loses any of its luster. It just gets regurgitated over and over again. And I will admit, I tried to give this a chance. In the first half, I'm like, okay, the setup, I don't mind. This football player named Dion, his acting is not the best, but at the same time, I didn't mind him. I didn't mind some of his mannerisms. I didn't mind his plight, where he was a kid, he had a twin. This guy with a hook was hurting, killing his twin. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't save him, so he ran off. He feels guilty for that up until this day. But now someone's back killing people one by one. And it may be linked to his brother, because sometimes the killer will see him and do things that only his brother knew. And so is the killer his brother or someone who knew his brother? But they're wearing the ghost face mask. Okay, that brings a little bit interest to me, because it makes it feel a little bit different compared to the other Stream films and such. Apparently in the first episode it was establishing the characters. You had Dion the lead. You have Dion's stepbrother, which there's tensions between those two. You have Shane, this guy who invited them to this party where everyone's wearing Ghostface costumes, and then one guy pushed or fell and got impaled. Some people say it was an accident, other people say no, Ghostface killed him. You have this goth girl named Beth who's big into horror films. You have Kim, who she's the one with attitude. She's showcased heavily throughout this episode. Liv is this girl who has a cop for a dad. You also have this guy who I think he's a gay guy who's friends with Kim, and he knows a bit about chemistry. Just later in this episode, he makes this stuff to try to knock someone out with gas, chemicals. Then there's this nerdy guy who kind of likes the goth girl Beth, and he's worried about the rules, and he's a Star Wars fan. I'm like, okay, I'm not minding the acting in this. I'm not minding the attitude of the actors. early in this episode, Tim is watching Rob Zombie's Halloween. Well, that's your first mistake. You should watching the wrong movie. And Ghostface probably don't kill you for watching the wrong movie, but instead Ghostface calls her. She gets to this attitude, runs outside to find this guy, but the guy's throat's been stabbed. I will admit I did laugh when immediately she goes, officer down, call the cops, tell him there's an officer down. Which gets everybody running. I did like the line where she said, some dude turned him into a Pez dispenser. I did like that line. And then the kids get together, they're trying to figure out what to do next. They're in a horror film. They mention black horror. Someone goes, name one black horror film without saying Get Out. I'm like, I can name a bunch. Candyman, Leprechaun in the Hood, Leprechaun Back to the Hood, Bones with Snoop Dogg. But anyway, Us, talk about Jordan Peele. The Blackening, which I thought was a horror movie version of, I thought it was a black version of The Happening, but no, that's not what The Blackening is. It's a different story. But, so I thought that was kind of a weird line that, if someone had fired back with all this stuff and said, Get Out's not the only film, okay, in the world, alright? If someone fired back with that, maybe the conversation could have worked better, but I don't know. I think the dialogue, the script in this could have been a lot better, a lot tighter, a lot wittier. So the group get together and they're thinking, who could the killer be? Maybe it's this guy Shane who invited him to the party, who gave them these costumes. So they gotta try to find where this guy's at. Shane, you find out, robs a store. And this did make me laugh unintentionally. The guy robs a store and he's wearing the Ghostface costume. So, I guess before the shit in Scream 6 was the first time someone went into a store with a gun wearing a Ghostface costume. So this did it first, before Scream 6. Although I will say it was better watching this than Scream 6 or Scream 5. I'll say that. Watching this for 40 minutes, I watch over and over Scream 5 and 6. But the guy has a gun, gets some drugs, medicine, runs out, and it's Shane. I mean, I guess he has a costume, he needs a costume. Why not? So. So the episode goes back from Dion, who's kind of forced into being into football practice instead of being with the other guys. Talking with this girl, Liv, where she suspects maybe your brother's not dead. They never found your brother's body. Maybe he's alive. And like I said, the lead guy, I don't mind him, but at the same time, I could absolutely see why people would just shit on his performance, because it's a bit stiff or awkward, or it's not as natural as it could be. Just something's off about his acting. But yeah, maybe because I didn't mind his vibe, I didn't mind his backstory, but yeah, I could see how people would shit on it. I perfectly see why. What killed any interest was the second half and the amount of stupid shit that happened. I'm like, are you even trying? Are you even trying? Because while Dion is dealing with that, the other kids are in the school, they trap Shane. But lo and behold, Ghostface is there. He's locked the school up. Which I don't know how the fuck he was able to do that, but okay. And he's on the intercom, I'm gonna get you, saying lines like, attention, Slash is now in session. Instead of class. Freddy Krueger himself would groan and cringe at that shit. Instead of class is in session, Slash is in session. I'm like, oh my fucking god, what the hell is this? And they just do every stupid thing. They split up when they're not supposed to split up. Kim with the attitude and her gay best friend, they split up. And then the goth girl and the nerdy guy, they split up. Goth girl and nerdy guy hide in a closet. And while there's a killer outside, they're fucking talking about how her breath smells like Skittles and smoke. And she goes taste the rainbow and they're ready to kiss. I've said there, really? You don't do this shit with a killer 2 feet outside that you just saw him pass by? So you split up. One group is ready to kiss and talk about fucking Skittles and rainbows while there's a killer 3 feet away from you. I like Skittles. Fuck the Skittles. Unless you give me a gun and I aim it at Ghostface and I also say, give me some Bubblicious and some Skittles. Also, let me ask you a question. It's a school. Why don't you pull the fucking fire alarm? This whole time I'm sitting there going, it's a goddamn school. They have these things called fire alarms. Pull the shit. Eventually, cops will be there. We don't want to get in trouble. Do you want to get dead? I'd rather talk to the cops and be like, 80, we're all... Someone tried to kill us, which I'll confirm. Say you're doing a fucking class project after school. I'd rather get in trouble than be dead. Pull the fucking fire alarm. No one ever has the idea to pull the goddamn fire alarm. Ring, 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 ring. Pull the fire alarm. Lock yourself in one fucking room together. There you go. But probably everyone's so fucking stupid no one could think of that. I'm not the brightest bulb. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. Even I thought of that. And then, even more so, they have Ghostface. Shane has the gun. Tim keeps telling him, shoot him. Shoot him. What are you doing? Shoot him. He doesn't. I guess because in reality he's a chicken shit who's never killed someone. Okay, but this is still a guy trying to murder people, has murdered people, will try to murder you. And he doesn't fire while in point blank range. And Ghostface gets away and he still won't fire. And Kim ritually gives him shit. And I'm sitting there going, oh my god, they have to pull this stuff to literally extend this whole thing. You just sit there and you hold your hand in your head and you go, this is so fucking stupid. Like, this is such piss poor writing that you put yourself in a corner and go, well, why does he shoot? Because he's scared. And the way this guy is, he's robbing people for drugs. You find out it's to help his mom, so he's not that bad of a guy. But if you're open to put a gun on an innocent guy to steal drugs, but not to shoot a guy who's a fucking murderer? But that's the whole thing. He's really chicken. It just comes off as very forced in trying to extend the running time of this show, which apparently this only lasted 6 episodes. I'll commend it for that. If this is only 6 episodes, I'd commend it for that at least. Considering all these other shows, they try to be 2-hour long episodes and they're still like 12, 14, 20 episodes long. So point blank range, he doesn't shoot those. So again, they split up. Someone even goes to stupid split, but they still split up. They're talking loud and ready to kiss in a closet. They don't shoot Ghostface point blank range. Ghostface gets away. Dion gets there, smashes a window. What the fuck's going on? He's asking. tries to get the Ghostface. Ghostface does one of these, which I guess his twin brother had done. Dion is now talking to Liv, going, maybe you're right, maybe my brother is alive. And spoiler, Shane, come back, Shane. He gets his just desserts because after, oh, he's not so bad of a guy. He got these, he got these drugs for his mom. He goes outside with the gun again. He turns, he sees the words coward on the wall. And thankfully, Ghostface was able to manipulate him to be under a fucking ladder that is slammed down, lands on him, and catches him in the neck to trap him. That's some expert fucking aim. To not just have the ladder bonk him on the head or get in the shoulder, to get him down and trap him right here. Although I didn't mind this kill where Ghostface takes a needle, puts in the guy's eye, and I guess it's some type of poison that makes him stuff come out of his mouth. So I don't mind that kill. Inventive. Different for Ghostface. But, yeah, I didn't mind some of the acting. I didn't mind some of the setup. But the dialogue is rather clunky at times. The character decisions are confusing. I think especially the second half when they're trapped in the school. I'm like, these people are too stupid to live. They're too stupid to live. No amount of wit, creativity, or smarts to be had in the writing of this. Come on now. Like I said, I can appreciate the setup of the twin brother in the past. I can appreciate, like I said, some of the actors I don't mind. Even the look of it for a TV show, I don't mind. It's using brand new characters that have nothing to do with Sydney, nothing to do with the characters of the movies, which is honestly fine, because that way they won't ruin shit, like Stream 5, with the way they ruined Dewey, and how Stream 6 try to be, like, mixed with the movie. Like, here's, no, nothing to do with Sidney Prescott, nothing to do, good. That I prefer. They have nothing to do with those stories. Do your own different thing. And this seems like it could potentially be more interesting in the city than what Stream 6 did, but again, you need a lot better writing. I think that the script is what failed this the most. So, take that for what you will. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.